coming down.
April 23rd, 2026. A date that will forever be etched into the dark history of Tornado Alley. As the sun set over Oklahoma, the atmosphere didn't just break, it exploded. What you're looking at is the beginning of a nightmare. This isn't just a storm, it's a direct hit on a major city. Tonight, on World Weather Report, we take you inside the 40 minutes of terror that leveled neighborhoods, struck a U.S. military base, and left the city of Enid in total chaos. If you think you've seen Oklahoma's worst, think again. This is the Enid Catastrophe. The day started like any other spring day in the plains, but by late afternoon, the Dryline began to bulge. Meteorologists saw the numbers: extreme instability, high shear, and a rare tornado emergency designation waiting to happen. At 8:21 p.m., the National Weather Service didn't just issue a warning, it issued a death sentence for structures in the path. A confirmed violent tornado was moving directly across Southeast Enid. For the 28,000 people in the corridor, including students at 13 schools and patients in 4 hospitals, the clock began to tick.
We look at why this storm was different. It wasn't just a touch-and-go funnel. It had a nasty base, a term used by chasers to describe the violent rotation reaching the ground before the debris even becomes visible.
Speed is usually a mercy in a tornado. If it moves fast, it's over fast. But this monster was slow. It stayed on the ground for over 40 minutes. Imagine sitting in your storm cellar, hearing the freight train roar above you, and it doesn't stop. For 40 minutes, it carved through the Gray Ridge neighborhood. Homes weren't just damaged, they were erased. City officials confirmed that the Enid police and fire departments were met with total devastation. Streets were rendered impassable by a graveyard of power lines, and century-old trees snapped like toothpicks.
In a terrifying turn of events, the tornado did not spare the military. Vance Air Force Base, a critical installation for pilot training, took a direct hit. The Garfield County Sheriff confirmed the strike as the tornado churned eastward. While the initial reports brought a sigh of relief, all personnel were reportedly safe, the structural damage was a blow to the community. When a tornado hits a military base, it's not just a local emergency, it's a matter of national concern. Governor Kevin Stitt would later call for statewide prayers specifically for the personnel at Vance.
But Enid wasn't the only target. To the north, in Kay County, witnesses captured something out of a Hollywood movie. Near the town of Brahman, 2 separate tornadoes touched down simultaneously. Chasers watched in awe and horror as the 2 funnels merged into a single, massive vortex. This was a multi-cell outbreak. From Osage County to the borders of Kansas, the sirens didn't stop. We look at the chilling footage of chasers praying for their lives as the storm turned toward them.
As the rotation finally weakened at 8:40 p.m., the true work began. A mass casualty incident was declared. This is the highest level of emergency response. Search and rescue teams crawled through the ruins of southern Enid in the pitch black, punctuated only by the flashes of lightning and the smell of leaking natural gas. Southbound lanes of U.S. Highway 81 became a parking lot for emergency vehicles. Volunteers, firefighters, and police worked side by side to find the trapped. This is the spirit of Oklahoma. When the wind tears things down, the people stand up.
As dawn broke on April 24th, the Gray Ridge area was unrecognizable. Dozens of structures were gone, but in the rubble, stories of survival emerged. The Enid tornado of 2026 stands as a sobering reminder that we live at the mercy of nature. Veteran forecasters called this a worst-case scenario for an urban area. At World Weather Report, we salute the first responders and the brave residents of Enid.
What would you do if you had only minutes to react? Let us know in the comments. Stay weather aware, stay safe, and subscribe for the latest updates on the world's most extreme weather. Thank you for watching World Weather Report.
sirens have fallen silent, but the silence in Enid this morning is heavier than the roar of the wind. The sun has risen over Garfield County, revealing a landscape that looks more like a war zone than a neighborhood. Last night, we covered the chaos. Today, we cover the cost. From the flattened streets of Gray Ridge to the high-security hangars of Vance Air Force Base, the scale of the damage is finally coming into focus. How did a city of 50,000 people survive a direct hit? And what can this worst-case scenario teach the rest of the world?
Let's look at the data. Initial surveys by the National Weather Service are just beginning, but the preliminary track shows a path of destruction over 15 miles long. At its peak, the debris ball on radar was over a mile wide. In the Gray Ridge neighborhood, the damage is being categorized as EF4 or higher. We're talking about well-built homes being swept off their foundations. But the story isn't just about what was lost. It's about the infrastructure. We're tracking reports of over 100 miles of downed power lines and a total collapse of the local water grid in the southern sectors. This isn't just a cleanup, it's a total reconstruction of an urban ecosystem.
The strike on Vance Air Force Base is sending ripples through the military community. This is one of the busiest pilot training bases in the world. While we can confirm all personnel are safe, the structural integrity of the hangars is under intense scrutiny. If the flight line is compromised, the economic impact on Enid and the operational impact on the Air Force is massive. Governor Kevin Stitt's direct involvement highlights the stakes. Our investigative team is looking into how the base's early warning systems functioned and why, despite a direct hit, there were no reported fatalities on site. It's a masterclass in military-grade disaster preparedness.
What does it feel like to lose everything in 40 minutes? We spoke to a family in Fairmont who spent nearly an hour in a concrete box while their world was torn apart above them. These are the stories that the radar doesn't show. The tornado emergency designation saved lives. Because the warning was so clear and so urgent, nearly 90% of the 28,569 people in the danger zone were underground before the first power pole snapped. We're analyzing the psychological impact of long-track tornadoes, the mental toll of waiting 40 minutes for the roar to end.